Thank you guys for being here. Welcome. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot of big stuff to cover. Thank you for being here. Just want to go through sort of some of the things we're going to be talking about today. As you know from the thumbnail and title, we're going to be talking about the Toei animation controversy, the copyright strikes that have been made against Totally Not Mark. It's a crazy situation, an unfortunate situation. We're going to be going through some of his videos. He made a response video today where he pleaded to not only Toei Animation and the copyright division specifically, but also to Oda himself. It was very, very powerful. It was, heartbreaking at the same time, seeing him kind of break down and seeing how it's really affected him. And it's just, my heart goes out to him and his employees, and especially, around the holiday season, it's tough. But, I want to go through sort of some of the things that he, spoke on, and just sort of some of my experience personally and my frustrations with the copyright system and just YouTube in general. But that's something that we'll talk about a little bit later. I also want to talk about Demon Slayer Season 2, baby. As you can see, I'm all decked out. I'm a demon head now. I'm a demon boy, Tanjiro, all day. I want to talk about it because we recently recorded a Volume 1 for Demon Slayer. That'll be coming out on Monday, early access to all of our Patreon members and our YouTube members, which you can now become one by clicking join on this video, and you'll get all the same perks that you get on Patreon, which is early access to all of our videos and access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra. But yeah, we recorded that episode before I had completed the first season of Demon Slayer. After recording that episode, not only did I finish Season 1, I watched Mugen Train, and I watched the Season 2 premiere. And my thoughts on Demon Slayer as a whole have changed entirely. I've made a full 180, and I'm here to address some things that I said on the episode that will be coming out on Monday. Also, there is a lot of controversy surrounding Season 2. It might sound silly, but it has to do with specifically the setting and some things shown, which we're going to get into as well. Other than that, we got the Cowboy Bebop cancellation announcement, which I think everybody saw coming from a mile away. It wasn't getting I don't think a lot of positive feedback. So we're going to be talking about, kind of what that means and just reading some articles on that. And then I'm saving a little surprise for the very end. It's a reaction to something. I won't give away exactly what it is, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to hopefully be something that we can end on on a positive note. I also saw the first episode of, I believe it's called Mushokoi Tensei, which is something that people were recommending in one of the last lives because of how much I enjoyed the Faraway Paladin, and calling it a similar series, that has gotten a lot of praise this season. I checked out the first episode, and I have some thoughts on that as well. I do want to thank everybody, too, for all of the birthday wishes. Thank you guys so much. You guys made this year and this birthday a really, really special one. I know the last live was crazy. I was really in my feels. I was really going all out. But you guys were so fun and so gracious and so kind, and just getting to celebrate that day with you all was very, very special. So I really thank you guys for that. And as you can see, we got the new mic arm today. We're doing it big. So couldn't have done it without you. Thank you guys so much. Let me go through the chat a little bit while we let some more people trickle in. And then we'll start getting to everything. Also, just to let you know, if you're here for the first time, subscribe to the channel. With all this YouTube stuff going on, your support, hitting the notification bell, all that stuff matters. It's really important, and it really helps us out a lot, and we really appreciate it. We also just announced that let me pull it up really quickly, that we launched our, that's a little preview for what's coming tomorrow. I'll just get into this right now and then tell you what is launching tomorrow, or what we launched today. But tomorrow is the long-awaited Masked Man collab. This is the thumbnail. What to expect from the Chainsaw Man anime. We got to talk to Masked. I talked about it in the last live a little bit, gushed about him, about how nice of a guy he was and is. So make sure to check out that video tomorrow. If you're a member, YouTube member, or a Patreon member, you have access to that episode right now. Right now, as we speak, you have access to that. And if you're not, then you will have access to it tomorrow. But what we also, let me just switch this up real quick, unveiled, is let me turn this off, is our Volume 1 Highlights channel. Volume 1 Highlights channel, where we're going to be posting clips from episodes. What we asked on our community tab, and what I'm asking you here in the chat now again, is that if you have any Volume 1, your favorite Volume 1 moments, send us a comment, either in the chat or on the community tab or in our Discord. Let us know some of your favorite moments, some moments you'd like to see get clipped up, and subscribe to that channel. Megan is spearheading this foray into the clip verse, and she's gonna be looking at all of your comments and making some clips. So hell yeah, that's also very exciting stuff. Okay, let's get into it. The Totally Not Mark stuff is what I wanted to talk about up top. The Totally Not Mark stuff is wild. It's something that I don't know how many people are aware of, or necessarily how many people even really care. But someone says, Josh, your cosplay and your voice sounds sick. You had a fever. It's getting cold over here. Okay, it's getting cold where I'm at. And so I think I'm getting a little congested because of the cold. But yeah, so it's crazy. I don't know how many people are aware, but a YouTuber by the name of Totally Not Mark, who I was not 100% familiar with before all of this, recently released a video about Toei Animation and getting copyright struck. The video is called Toei Stop, and it's a 9-minute video where he goes through his experience with Toei Animation and specifically how they have gone about claiming his videos, which is insane. Not only at its core, but how they did it, and how their response has been to all of this. And it's something that's always confused me, and it's something I've always never really understood. I obviously, like, creating YouTube videos and making content, you try to learn as much about it as you can. But what's really crazy about all this is that even in some of the past lives that I've done, I agree, of course, and understand fully and completely that in no way, shape, or form is it okay to put something online that is just a direct copy of either an episode, a movie, or anything, without it being transformative, right? Without it being changed, or without you adding something to it. It's fair use. It's something that other YouTubers have fought for. And YouTube just seems like such a crazy platform compared to all of these other platforms. People have talked about TikTok in the past and how, and what TikTok has done for the music industry. Yet on YouTube, you play 10 seconds of a song and your whole video is copywritten, or gets a copyright strike. And there are lives that I've done that have gotten copyright strikes. Almost all of them have gotten copyright strikes. The last birthday live with the Guts theme, I get it. That's fine. But there was another live where I wanted to share with everybody who hadn't seen. I wanted to share the Ranking of Kings trailer. The first couple episodes of Ranking of Kings had just came out, which the last episode, by the way, I don't know if any of you guys are caught up, but oh my God, that's a show that keeps getting better and better and better and is delivering week after week. And if you haven't seen it yet, what are you doing? Get on it. It's so great. But I wanted to share the trailer and share excitement. The trailer is something that's online for free anyway. The trailer is something that you can just search on YouTube and look up. And the trailer, in my mind, is something that's designed. My voice is cracking because of how passionate I'm getting right now, because of how flustered I'm getting right now. The trailer is something that should be a thing that sells you on the show. And the fact that was what got that video copyright striked was wild to me. Not to mention that, I didn't even play the thing all the way through. We were talking through it. And even before, like in some of our, reactions that we've done, even with the Berserk anime comparisons and, the AOT one that we ended up unlisting or taking down completely. It's just wild, all the loopholes that you have to jump through. And I understand with like reaction videos, I understand that, you're showing parts of the episode that people have to pay for. I get that. And I get 100% supporting the artists, the animators, the creators, 100%. I get that 100%. But the fact that, we can't even show a trailer to get people excited about this series is wild to me. Yeah, totally not Mark. It's so crazy what happened to him. I just want to go through a little bit of the first video. We don't have to go through the whole video, but it is just wild. Hey guys, my name is what happened to him, and that not only did one or two of his videos get copyright struck, but 150. And the way that it happened is it happened all at once, meaning that there was no rhyme or reason to the way that Toei did this. In his response video. In this video, he made a claim or stated that, on one hand, it was frustrating because Toei Animation was copyright striking all his videos, but then on the other hand, they were asking him to promote either some concert or some form of, music event through Toei. In his latest video that was uploaded about an hour ago, as of this recording, he does clarify that it was a different... not only a different department, but it was a entirely different company that was asking him to do that through Toei, and it wasn't actually Toei themselves. But 150 videos got taken down. In his response video, he goes on to say that not only did they not really respond, but even the way that they did respond. And it's so frustrating because you see, and I'm going to need Christy, okay? People in the chat are already saying that Christy's here to calm me down. I'm going to need Christy because I'm about to go off right now. It's so crazy that not only is YouTube not doing anything, which I understand that YouTube is a big company, that there's, millions of videos that are getting uploaded to their platform daily. But I just think that there are things that warrant and deserve attention and need to be remedied. It's wild that also in the way that Toei responded to this man's team's work, their transformative work, that they released videos that were part of a series, drawing videos. Yet the very next video, the part 2 video, which is the same style of content, was not released. Videos that he's talked about being very proud of and working hard on. And as someone who edits videos and whose week is full of editing and posting and thumbnail making, which is something I love. And it's something that has given me so much purpose and so much joy, and being able to connect with everybody watching right now. But I understand, like, putting work and dedicating so much of your time and putting so much of your heart into something, and then seeing that video still be struck. They only released 19 of his 150 episodes. They tried to reach out to him. YouTube tried to reach out to him and give him a representative, and the representative linked him basically to the FAQ page, which is just, it's so incredibly disrespectful and so hurtful to a creator, especially when all this person is trying to do is spread the joy and spread, you know, the beauty and share this story and its impact on him with other people, and to create some sort of camaraderie and to create sort of a stronger community. It's so crazy. The thing about Japan specifically, and I guess the loophole in all of this is that Japan doesn't have the same fair use laws that I know specifically here in the United States we do have. So with Japan specifically, it is a case of region to region and how they are, what videos they allow it on and what they don't. There are also like ways that content creators can release videos regionally and not have their videos show up in other countries. But again, with Totally Not Mark, it was a function that he was not given access to, and was told that he either had to pay money to get access to or get in contact with a manager or a rep to get access to, which he also could not do. So again, it's just wild. It's just heartbreaking too. I want to just bring awareness to it. I don't want to, I don't want to necessarily, it's tricky because I just see, how emotional this makes him. And it's a video that he made public and he published, but it still breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And like, I want to bring awareness. I want to shine a light on it. But at the same time, like it hurts me to show, you how much this is affecting him. Obviously it's something he's comfortable showing because, it's something that he's published on his channel. And I think it really just drives home and punctuates his point. But this is the video that he released today, and it is in response. So let's just check this out for a second, and then we'll get to the chat and we'll look at and see what some of you guys are saying.
Has placed on both myself and my team.
So you can see Mark around this point.
YouTube in their entirety. Regardless, I'm an advocate.
Emotionally distraught.
My videos are not a replacement for, nor do they detract from the original release, which, as you can see, I openly encourage people to support. I can't describe how utterly soul-destroying and anxiety-filled this experience has been so far. To constantly be teetering on the verge of losing everything while trying desperately to communicate with people.
It's so crazy.
Help. Only to be hit by more and more bad news, both with this circus and in my real life that I haven't disclosed. And to tell you the truth, the unparalleled support I've received from what feels like everyone has made perhaps one of the worst weeks of my life at least possible to overcome. Charlie, thank you. Joey, thank you. Phil, thank you. Felix,
and he breaks down right here. Like you can see, this is a man
made posts, videos, and
who's done everything in his power. He's done everything in his power to follow guidelines that were given to him, gone above and beyond to make truly transformative works, to spread the joy and share the joy that these series bring to him. And to see this man, to see a company strong arm the little guy, and to see just this man broken is one of the most ugly things that I've seen in a long time on Toei's part, of course. But yeah, just a little bit more,
I'll never
and then
be able to repay all of your kindness and support you've extended to me and my team when none of us thought that you needed to. People have consistently pointed to my Patreon on both my behalf and my team's, and we are both utterly overwhelmed, to the point where I feel tremendous guilt. This is everyone else's Christmas too, and someone even donated as much as $500. Together, you've all taken the pressure off of us this Christmas. And
it's so
truly grateful.
Heartbreaking is just the only word. It's the only word.
But until such time this ends in change or the circumstances improve.
I mean, and then he goes on to, give a plea. He goes on to give a plea. He finds a native Japanese speaker to deliver the message in Japanese in hopes to get the message across to Toei and Oda and all these people. Even at one point, and this is what breaks my heart too, because what anime has done for all of us, I think, if you're here, if you're watching, what anime has done for all of us is, it's given us this strength or inspiration. Sometimes, and as corny and cheesy as it might sound, life sucks, okay? And, sometimes we feel like the world is against us. And so we turn to these stories with these heroes who take on the big bad, the bad that no one else can take on, that everybody tells them that they're too weak or that they're, not strong enough or can't defeat. And we see them overcome and we see them persevere and we see them, never give up. We see them, covered in blood and we see them beaten and battered and trembling. They stand up and they keep fighting. And so it's crazy that a company, especially with series like Dragon Ball Z and One Piece, that a company which makes me believe that they don't give a shit about the stories. And this is not about the animators and this is not about the creators. This is about the copyright division specifically. This is about the copyright division of Toei. That they don't give these businessmen, they don't give a shit about the message in these stories. Because what Totally Not Mark is doing is what these protagonists are doing in these stories. And it's so crazy, especially Dragon Ball, especially One Piece, to see Luffy never give up, to keep going and to not listen to what the world tells him is possible. And Goku and all these, these characters that we love. So he goes on to make this plea in Japanese, which is powerful.
著作権局様へ。まずはじめに、このメッセージを拝見いただき、誠にありがとうございます。私は東映のショーを20年以上愛し、一緒に育ってきました。私の仕事は、日本から生まれた最高のストーリーについて、それらを考察し、みんなに教えることです。その作品たちは、世界中の何百万人もの人々の生活を変えた日本が。
And it's just so wild. And, Totally Not Mark, I'm not here to plug our Patreon or anything like that. But I do want to say that Totally Not Mark, if you're not supporting him, you should be. I mean, he's really taking a stand and he's really fighting a good fight for all of us, not just other content creators, but viewers. He's fighting back. It would be so easy to figure out another way to do something, to make different types of videos, or to give up and to do something else. But he's fighting the good fight, and he's standing up for what he believes and knows in his heart is right, and that his intentions are pure. And so that's why it's so important, if there are creators that you love. And I do really want to thank all of our Patreon members and all of our supporters, but I'm not here to plug our Patreon. I'm here to just let people know how important it is to support people like Totally Not Mark, who are fighting the good fight, because when YouTube takes, your videos down and takes your AdSense away, and when Toei copyright claims or all these other companies copyright claim your videos, it's because of the support of the people that allows a lot of creators to continue to do what they do, and they wouldn't be able to do it without them. Sponsorships are great, and AdSense is great, but it's really because of the viewers and the support that the viewers give the creators that they love. It's what makes it all possible. And so shout out to Mark for fighting the good fight. And my heart goes out to you, man. I mean, I wish, we're a smaller channel, but I wish, there was more that we could do. This is the platform we have, the platform that I think we're all very grateful for. And if we can use it, even as small as it is, to in comparison for sure, but to shine a light on this wrongdoing, because it does directly affect us as well, then I hope we could do that. Even if it reaches just a couple more people, that's all I can hope for. That's all we can hope for. So shout out, Totally Not Mark. What a great guy. What a G. What a real one. Let me go through the chat real quick. I've been kind of rambling. I've been kind of ranting. Let me see what you guys are saying. Some of the videos taken down don't even involve anything close to copyright issues according to Toei themselves, yet they're still gone. There are drawing videos where he's literally drawing. And it's so wild because, again, that's not only did they take those videos down, which have no clips from the shows in them, but they are just drawing these intellectual properties, I suppose. But he's also gotten videos taken down, and other creators have talking about, even the Anime Man and Joey has talked about getting 2 copyright strikes. He released a video saying that he's gotten 2 strikes on his channel, on his main channel, from just including characters in the thumbnail. And we have One Piece videos. Granted, we are a smaller channel, but it is also at the same time scary because we have videos with Chopper in the thumbnail, Luffy in the thumbnail, so what does that mean for us? To just have an image of the character in your thumbnail, that is enough to not only get that video copyright struck, but to get a channel strike. You get 3 channel strikes and you're done. You're done. Okay. And it's an old way of thinking. Not only, yes, did they have nothing to do with the video, they were drawing videos or with the show, with the anime, by showing clips, but also that's in this response video, what he says, that they released one of them, but the other, they chose to continue to hold. When they when they struck all the videos, they did them all in one foul swoop, no review process, one foul swoop, and then seemingly did the same thing when they released them. They released 19 all at once and randomly, very randomly, no rhyme, no reason. You'd think, and he says this in the video, you'd think that you'd be able to see some sort of pattern, like, oh, they released all the drawing videos, or they released all the videos with review in the title. But no, they released some drawing videos and they released some, review videos, but there was no rhyme or reason to the way they did it. It really just does feel like there is somebody at that company in that department that is just randomly clicking buttons and hoping, and he said this again, and so pardon me for taking his words, but that they are just trying to make this problem go away. But it's just not, it's just not going to be that easy, And there are people at Toei, I'm sure, that are forward-thinking people, that are people that recognize the importance of, what people like Totally Not Mark can do for their company. But again, it's old heads, it's people at the top that just don't understand. And there might be, cultural differences as well too, but I still believe that there are people at that company. It's not, I don't believe that you can, paint it with such a broad brush and say that everybody there is bad. I just think that there are some people at the top that have power there that are just have a very old way of thinking. And hopefully this brings some awareness in some way, shape, or form to those big wigs and to help them understand that what they're doing is dated and is wrong. Lloyd Forger, it's crazy talking about the anime manga increased sales. For instance, streaming, gaming, the company can copyright your stream, but they won't because they know it's good for business. And it's also like, what do they choose to copyright and what do they choose to not copyright? It's crazy. A couple more comments and then we'll move on. The breakdown on how long it would take for him to dispute and get back the videos is insane and heartbreaking. 30 years for all of it. Yeah, 30 years to go through this, to jump through these hoops to just play this game. It's just a game. It's a game. Josh, Red Hood said that you can set not to view in Japan and you can avoid that copyright stuff in Japan. But I think he said you need a YouTube partner or something. Yeah, that's what I was explaining. There is a function, a tool in YouTube that does allow you to release videos regionally, but he did not have access to that. And when he asked for access to that, he was told that he could not get that because he didn't have X amount of subscribers. He didn't have a YouTube manager, or he didn't have this, or he didn't have that. He was given the runaround. Yeah, it's just it's so crazy. Yeah. So someone said R.I.P. Totally not Mark, one of the best One Piece YouTubers, and hopefully it's not R.I.P. Hopefully, he's able to bounce back from this, and hopefully the YouTube community, I don't know, hopefully is stronger, and there are more things put in place to prevent things like this from happening in the future. But yeah, someone said, what did I miss? I just came from the Mark new video. Yeah, so we were just looking at the new video, and we'll see. Like I wanna keep watching this. The thing too is with just the nature of our culture and the way news works is things get attention and things trend and things pop off for a day or two or a week, and then people move on. And there are things that are so important, and I think that to varying degrees, of course. But I hope this is something that people stay vigilant and stay focused on, so that some change can come about. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to get the heavy stuff out of the way up top. So thank you guys again for being here. Thank you. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Feeling extra love. Feeling extra appreciative just to have all you guys here. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to move on. And we're going to talk about Demon Slayer Season 2, everybody. Demon Slayer Season 2. So, look, we recorded a Volume 1 episode, and I, at the time of recording, like I said in the beginning of the video, I hadn't seen the entirety of Season 1. I have since not only caught up on Season 1, but I've watched Mugen Train, and I saw the Season 2 premiere. And in the video, first of all, the controversy that we talked about with Totally Not Mark does relate to something else we talked about concerning Demon Slayer, which a commenter in the chat just reminded me of. This is like that one Demon Slayer cake story, but crazier and on a bigger scale. Yeah, and if it was 150 cakes that got ripped out of people's mouths, you know what I mean? Got ripped out of their stomachs. Yeah, but there was a story we talked about a while ago on a live where a woman in Japan got arrested and sent to jail for selling Demon Slayer cakes. And if that doesn't tell you the nature of how serious they take copyright in Japan, then I don't know what does. Because I mean, this woman was literally just trying to make a living. She was trying to earn a little extra cheddar, and she was probably making other cakes too, right? But also let her make cakes, okay? Let her make cakes. Is the official Demon Slayer production company? Are they making official Demon Slayer cakes? I don't think so. So let the lady make some cake and take a little bit of her money. Maybe when she gets caught cake-handed, when she gets caught frosting all over her fingers, maybe say, okay, you made this amount of money. You owe us X amount. Don't take her to jail. Yeah. Toei is and this is the perfect way to punctuate everything. Toei is effectively the mafia with a cat logo. And that's really the best way to say it. They should put a cigar in the Toei. They should put an eye patch and a cigar in the mouth of the Toei cat. And the Toei cat should just be smoking a cigar with an eye patch on. That's how they should do it. But anyway, Demon Slayer season 2. So yes, the people are already talking about it in the chat. Season 2 not out yet, but already have controversy about polygamy. What I thought when I first dove into this like quote unquote controversy was that it was going to be mainly about the polygamy, but it turns out it's really not all about that. And as a matter of fact, it's more about this other thing than it even is about the polygamy at all. The polygamy, I think, plays into it, but it's more about this other thing that I do want to talk about. The controversy around it, which again, it's so everything is sort of just, flowing. Each topic does kind of flow into the next. It does kind of go back to culture. And Demon Slayer season 2, for those of you who don't know, this will be a spoiler free as far as like plot details go. So if you haven't seen season 2 yet, do not worry. No spoilers here at this moment in time. And if there is, there will be plenty of warning. But this season of Demon Slayer season 2 is going to be called the Entertainment's District season. So what that means, the red light district, the entertainment district, it takes place, and I have an article pulled up that gives the exact name of the city in Japan. It's a city that has a history and is known for being a red light district, being a district where nefarious acts go down, where there is prostitution, there is, gambling, whatever. So it's not so much the polygamy. I'm sure the polygamy plays into it, but more than that is that this takes place in a real city in Japan that has a real history of rapscallions hanging out and about. And really what I think a lot of parents in Japan, more so I think than in the US or outside of Japan, are concerned about is that Demon Slayer does have a younger audience. So, there's been talk about, is it going to be censored? Is it something that they're going to have to tone down? Is it something that the studio has changed? Are they going to change the source material from the manga to the anime to make it a little more kid-friendly? I have not read the Entertainment District arc in the manga. I've only seen, again, the first episode. But Demon Slayer as a whole, and it's funny because we do talk about this a little in our Volume 1 episode that will be coming out on Monday. Demon Slayer as a whole is a pretty like wholesome show. I mean, there's demon slaying in it, and it can get pretty violent. There's heads being chopped off and stuff like that. But that's another thing. You're okay with your 5-year-old watching somebody slice someone's head off, but God forbid he walks through a brothel. God forbid he supports a sex worker, but it's okay. Maybe because they're demons that they chop the heads off of, who knows, but it's so crazy. And I understand that it is again, a cultural thing, but Demon Slayer as a whole is a pretty wholesome show. There's not a lot of fan service. Demon Slayer is not known for having fan service. It doesn't have fan service in it, I don't think at all, which again is something we talk about, how crazy it is that as a fandom, it does seem that like Nezuko has been sexualized to an extent when in the show, she is a very sweet and wholesome character. But that's just the nature of, the medium, I guess, or the fandom. But yeah, it's something that I think, and we're going to go through the article right now, but someone said, I've read the arc already. There's literally nothing about prostitution or anything sexual related in the arc. And so that, is it controversy for controversy's sake? Because, sometimes when you're parsing through all of these stories and controversy is always in the headline, there's always a controversy about something. But what I think here is that there are parents who are actually uncomfortable or are fearful because they aren't aware of what is in the arc, of letting their children watch this, because again, it takes place in a real city that has a real history of these things. If you watch the trailer too, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's anything sexual happening in it. I mean, it shows demons, it shows a district, it looks like more Demon Slayer, which is a great thing. there was also a moment where one of the Hashira, who, again, this is going to be very spoiler free, just obviously the polygamy has multiple wives or whatever, but that he, the way he is with another character, like he slaps her on the ass or whatever, and it's that I feel like is more outrage for the sake of outrage. I mean, I think that that is not as I don't know. I don't give as much personally. I don't want to give as much attention to that necessarily because we haven't seen much else about this character yet as anime watchers. But I trust the creator. I trust the mangaka, even though they're human too, and they're not always innocent. The mangaka of Rurouni Kenshin, for example, the mangaka of Act Age, for example, did some pretty terrible things, IRL. But I do think that Demon Slayer is a show that makes me feel like I'm in good hands when I watch, and that nothing is crazy. Like they're not gonna bust into an orgy. Okay, Tanjiro's not going to go into a shop and just start making out with, Zenitsu maybe, but it's just not. I understand the concern, but also like watch the show. Do a little bit of research. Look into the manga exists. That arc is Demon Slayer. The manga is over. Do a little bit of research. Look into like what is happening before you react this way. I don't know. Like if you're that concerned about what your child is watching, then make the effort yourself to do some research, to dig a little bit, because it's available. Pay $2.99, get the Shonen Jump app, spend $3, read a couple pages. You'll probably have a good time. You might become a fan of the series too. You might become a fan of the series. And then you might want to watch it with your kid. And then you got a great bonding experience instead of, freaking out over the fact that there's a possibility of, prostitution in a show that is just not known for that. The manga is pretty clean and tame compared to some other series out there. Yeah, for sure. 100%. So again, I pretty much kind of covered it, but let's go through this article because this article does give more context. I think it does give more information about specifically the names of these places and so on and so forth. So let me sort of adjust this here and see again. Headline right here: Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Season 2 shrouded in controversy. So let's go through it a little bit and let's just kind of see right here, because it says and I do want to talk about a little bit later my experience watching Mugen Train and the rest of Season 1. I'll keep it spoiler free, but guys, a full 180. I've come around. With the resounding box office success of Mugen Train, Kimetsu no Yaiba the anime has broken all kinds of records. Yes. The controversy of the Red Light District arc. The first controversy was carried out by the parents to whom, since the name, so it's the Yukaku Hen was made known. They set off alarms when they learned that the shonen was heading to another arc of the seinen type. This seemed quite worrying because Japanese children follow the series very closely, and even polls have put anime characters such as Tanjiro and Nezuko in the same relevance compared to the respect that children feel towards their parents, other family members, and teachers themselves. The bad influence they may receive is worrisome to adults. But the second controversy is even more worrying, since the debate now includes the television station Fuji TV. And this is important too, because apparently now that it's going to be broadcast through Fuji TV, Fuji TV can choose how they air it once they get it, apparently. So, because they've acquired the transmission rights of the second season and has become the new home for the Demon Hunters, which has differentiated from Tokyo MX as a larger family-type audience. So obviously, it will be seen more by a child audience. This has generated concern in the fans, since a new television station could entail changes or even some censorship. So the Yukaku refer to those regions of Japan where the brothels recognized or authorized by the same government were located. So prostitution was legal in these regions, and the fact that the following battle of Tanjiro and the Pillar of Sound performed in this environment is clearly worrying for the television station and its audience. If Fuji TV has the power to influence and approve the content of the Demon Slayer episode it will broadcast, we could be on the eve of the first censorship of the series, even if there is no explicit content behind what has already been presented previously. So, rumors point to a name change, yada, yada, yada. There's a whole plagiarism thing, too, which I don't want to give any credence to. I do want to pause really quick, though, because we did get a donation. Shout out Monokuma. Thank you, Monokuma. And thank you, everybody, for your support. And what a better time than now to remind everybody that all donations do not go just to me for being here with you today, but they go to the entire Volume 1 crew and family. So thank you so much for your support. Monokuma says, love your intakes. How would you personally go about in persuading or convincing people about the controversies being blown out of proportion on purpose? I feel both Totally Not Mark and Demon Slayer Season 2. How would I personally go about in persuading or convincing people about the controversies being blown out of proportion? I would just tell people, there is a school of thought, which I do think is very true, that these controversies can be a way to get publicity for the second season, of course. As a individual, you have to just, based on your instinct, on your gut, you have to be able to parse through what you feel like is truly controversial or publicity. And again, just because, I do feel like, and maybe this is the United States in me, but I do feel like whenever parents get involved, of course, it's like the whole Harry Potter thing, when churches and parents, didn't want their kids reading about witchcraft, and they made this, they made this whole boycott. They were burning Harry Potter. Like when parents get involved, it's so crazy, the extent to which they're willing to go. But at the same time, not willing to just do a little bit of research, not willing to spend that time with their kids and just talking to them about the things that they're consuming and reading. But they got time to meet up and go burn books. You know what I mean? They got time to meet up and stand outside of Barnes & Noble and make signs. They got time to make signs, but they don't got time to sit down and read what their child is reading. And to that effect, too, if you do have a family member or somebody who is, when it comes to shows like Demon Slayer, who are telling you that it's something that you shouldn't be watching, you could say that Demon Slayer is the most Christian show because they're slaying demons out there. And what more Christian show could there be than a show where they literally slay demons? But yes, so I don't know. I would just tell people. I would just tell people to just do their own research, to tell these parents. And even with the Totally Not Mark stuff, I encourage everybody who's watching this to, before or after, to watch the videos yourself and to get all the information that you can about it. Someone said parenting is tough, though, to be honest. And I do not have children, and so I can't really speak to that. And I imagine it is very tough. But it's just, to me, it does break down as simply as, I understand parenting is tough, but you have the time to make a stink, you should give that time to being there with your kid. And trust me, as someone who's had a very rocky relationship with my parents, I can only imagine, how tough it was for them and just seeing what they, went through. So I appreciate, the parents who do put in that little extra work and give a little extra love. Josh, if your hero of Demon Slayer, Megan Nezuko, who is Cody? Cody is probably, I would want to say out of everybody, out of the main cast, it's hard. Because Cody, I don't think Cody would really be in Inosuke either. Inosuke's loud and boisterous, and I would think, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe we'll go through a little bit later and we'll try to figure that out. We gotta figure out who he is. Maybe he'd be one of the crows. Because he does like birds. He is a huge fan of birds, and so maybe he'd be one of the crows. So to that effect, or on that note, I guess. Yeah. I hope Demon Slayer Season 2 does not get censored. I hope that this new network doesn't choose to censor it. I hope it doesn't get a Tokyo Revengers treatment. God forbid. I feel like the anime is going to be pretty faithful, and I'm very confident, and I feel like it's not going to at least get the Promised Neverland Season 2 treatment, which, I mean, I will start a riot if it does, because that was a huge travesty that went a little under the radar. Okay, not enough people mad enough about that, in my opinion. They really pulled their pants down and took a huge dump on the Promised Neverland. I don't think that that's going to happen to Demon Slayer, and I really hope that it doesn't get a Tokyo Revengers style release where they're just cutting to random shots of trees and backgrounds to cover the manji symbol. You know what? Let's freaking educate people. And everybody who is a regular viewer of this channel and of these streams knows that I ain't the smartest, cookie in the box. Okay. You give me a math problem with more than 3 numbers in it, I won't even be able to tell you what the answer is. Okay. I'm not a professor. I'm not a genius, but I do think that even with things like Tokyo Revengers, like I understand that it is a reminder, or that it represents, or is a symbol of, a dark period of history that affected many people's lives and families. However, the manji is not that symbol. It was something that was commandeered and altered. And I just feel like if we were to just try as a culture, as a society, as a world, as a people, just try to love a little bit more and try to educate a little bit more and try to, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we could get somewhere. Maybe we could get somewhere, But Promise to Never Season 2. Yeah. Promise to never adapt any of that manga ever again. Not like you did in Season 2. Not like you adapted any of the manga in Season 2. Which is crazy. But Demon Slayer Season 2, I'm excited about it. Again, spoiler-free, no spoilers. I think it's an amazing show. Someone asked in the chat earlier, I believe it was Lloyd Forger, moderator of our Discord, important member of our community. He asked how was episode 19. So, basically, in the Volume 1 episode, and I want to be very clear. I want everybody who's watching this right now, if you go watch that Volume 1, you gotta tell people that I've changed, okay? I'm going to do my part. I'm going to do my best. But, in that episode, I spoke about my relationship with Demon Slayer and where I was at when I consumed Demon Slayer and where and why I stopped watching Demon Slayer. And for me personally, my personal experience was that I started watching it during the quarantine, and it was at that time that I had decided to consume as much anime as I possibly could because I had the perfect excuse to. And to catch up and to finally experience all of these series that I had never seen and experienced and always said that I never had time to watch. I finally sat down, and for the period of a month to 2 months, I went through the heavy hitters. Okay, I went through all of Hunter x Hunter, which I loved. I went through series like Death Parade. I even, dove deeper into Slice of Life and experienced shows like Yuri on Ice and Fruits Basket. I was in the creme de la creme of anime. And because I had been a shonen guy my whole life, grew up with shows like, Full Metal, Naruto, Bleach, I'd obviously seen shows like Gurren Lagann and Steins Gate, and these are kind of the shows that I grew up with. I felt like I was experiencing a whole nother world that anime had to offer, specifically with the slice of life sort of Yuri on Ice, Fruits Basket genre. Even, Anohana and A Silent Voice, it's just like really starting to make me feel stuff. And so it was at that time that I decided to start watching Demon Slayer. And at the time, because I was watching all those other series, it felt I'm going to be completely honest. Do not come at me right now, please. It felt sort of standard. It felt like a very, paint by numbers shonen. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. And again, I'm not going to talk too much on it here because I talked about it in the volume 1 episode that'll be coming out. But I did feel like, of course, the animation was gorgeous and beautiful and it set a new standard. But I felt like story-wise, it hit a lot of the same beats that a lot of other shonen series that I had seen hit. I talk a lot in the volume 1 episode about a series called Claymore. I don't know how many people in the chat or who are watching this later have seen Claymore, but if you haven't and you like Demon Slayer, I mean, I think Claymore is also a series that'll be right up your alley. And I have seen I had seen Claymore when I was a youth, when I was a young one, and I still am a young one. Thank you guys. But so again, when I watched Demon Slayer, again, it felt familiar to me, and it wasn't grabbing me the same way that it seemed to grab everybody else. So I gave it a chance and I watched it. There was a moment, a couple episodes in, again, this is going to be pretty spoiler free. There's a moment with a boulder, and that moment was the moment that made me feel like this is what people love about this show. Now I'm in, now I'm hooked. However, another moment like that didn't feel like it came for a lot of episodes. So I got through probably about 14, 15, or 16 episodes is where I stopped. I don't remember exactly, but it was around that time, and I just dropped it because I had other stuff I was watching, other stuff that I was more interested in, and I just accepted the fact that maybe Demon Slayer was not for me. However, I was so wrong. And Cody talks about this a lot too. Cody talks a lot about how in the culture of anime and manga, there is always this grace period that fans seem to give shows that they always say like, oh, just get 12 episodes in, or wait till you get to this fight, or wait till you get to this moment. And that's when it's going to hook you. And to Cody's credit, or in his defense, I understand that being a frustrating logic, but at the same time, it's something that I don't mind and I fully accept. What I will say about Demon Slayer is if you have not seen Demon Slayer, and if you have and it doesn't seem like it's something for you, get to episode 19. And I know people have been saying this. I know this is not new information, but oh my God, the nature of the show changes completely after episode 19. The show becomes what to me felt like a completely different show with a different vibe, a different energy, a focus on different heroes. Because again, truthfully, I was getting a little irritated at Zenitsu and even Inosuke. I was getting very, very irritated with their characters. I felt like, they weren't they weren't grabbing me the same way that I guess they seem to be grabbing other people. However, after episode 19, not only does the focus shift from them and move to a different group, a different corner of the Demon Slayer world, but you see so much more development and so much more growth with our two main characters, Tanjiro and Nezuko, and then going on to Mugen Train when those characters Inosuke and Zenitsu come back. Inosuke for sure, after having a break from him, when he does come back, it's different. It hits different. He doesn't feel as annoying, and for me, Mugen Train really made me feel like I appreciated him more as a character. But I encourage anybody out there who maybe dropped it or doesn't get it to make it to episode 19 at least. And for sure, I gotta record something and put it at either the beginning of that volume 1 or in the middle of that volume 1 that's coming out on Monday, because how wrong was I? I guess I was speaking, to my experience and to my truth, but boy, oh boy, how that truth changed. Yeah, and as far as like Mugen Train goes too, I mean, what an experience. And my biggest regret was not seeing it in theaters. Watching it, which it is available on Funimation right now. Not seeing it in theaters was a huge regret in hindsight, because it was such a fantastic and I think such a well done, powerful movie. And of course, I think that the debut of season 2 really, and again, this is very spoiler free, but just really punctuated the emotional beats and moments of the movie so well, and gave so much more heart to certain characters, and really just for the first part of it, just let you sit in the emotions of Mugen Train and the repercussions and the aftermath of Mugen Train, and how seamless season 1 flows into the movie, and how season 2 picks up right where the movie left off. Chef's kiss. They're really doing it right over there. And it really, I mean, I'm going to be honest too, after I finished watching the first episode of season 2, I started reading the manga. Because I again, once the focus shifted and the world opened up, it became an entirely different show. And yeah, I'm a demon head now. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I got my earrings. I got my my kimono on, my Tanjiro. I'm just repping hard. I even got Demon Slayer stickers, dude. I was gonna get Tanjiro's sword. Okay, I'm a demon head now. All right, and I apologize for doubting, and it's something I say in the Volume 1 episode too. Like there is a undeniability about Demon Slayer, and it's something that I never discredited. It was something I always knew that I just wasn't getting, but now I get it. Let's go through some of these comments again, and then we're going to move on to the next thing I really want to talk about, which is Cowboy Bebop getting canceled. We're not going to talk about that too much, because I do also want to talk about Mushoku Tensei, which is an isekai anime that's been premiering this season. I only watched the first episode, but people have been comparing it to The Faraway Paladin, which I loved at least the first volume of, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that too. But let's go through the chat a little bit. Let's see what you guys have to say. Zenitsu was definitely annoying at first. Yeah. And I'm glad it wasn't just me. Dude, I mean, like, it was bad. Like, annoying and just frustrating. He was a very frustrating character to me. And I'll be honest with you, of all the Demon Slayer characters, and Zenitsu gets a moment, right? He gets a moment, but of all the Demon Slayer characters, he is still probably my least favorite, and he is still probably the one that I'm having the hardest time acclimating to. Inosuke, after Mugen Train, really won me over. But yeah. Let's see. Mangas are hard to sell to producers when they are giving the pitch, so usually they start safe for a spot in the magazine. That's an interesting insight. I mean, I do think that is smart. You start safe, you get a bunch of people hyped and interested. Now you have the power because you have the audience, and then you can kind of do whatever you want to do. That's smart. Zenitsu needs more love. I think it's because maybe you relate to Zenitsu, or I don't know, but Zenitsu, that boy needs love, but he doesn't need the kind of love that he thinks he needs. Okay. He needs real love. Okay. Let them live their deprived life. All kids want Tanjiro swords after watching Mugen Train. Parents had to say no. Asking for a friend. When is the next group live stream planned? Well, Mr. Stealing Your Waifu. The next group live stream planned is probably for sure going to be in the next either week or 2 weeks. It's going to be around closer to Christmas. We're going to have a Christmas episode live as a group planned. And then, we've gotten a lot of comments about doing Berserk, reading the last chapter or the last few chapters, or doing the very last episode live. So depending on where we get with that, the group, we're going to be probably doing a Christmas group live stream. And then of course, because of, popular demand, we will probably most likely be doing a live conclusion of a series conclusion Berserk video, which could be this month or for sure in January. But Jonathan, we got another donation. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you so much. Jonathan says Claymore needs to be remade to follow the manga. It was a really great story and deserves to have the proper ending it deserves. 100%. Claymore is another anime that the ending, they completely botched the ending and it completely, went their own direction with it. But leading up to it, fantastic, really good. And the animation does actually hold up. I think what Jonathan is saying, though, is it needs a more faithful adaptation, which I completely agree with. But I would still say that despite its ending being a lackluster, especially knowing how it ends in the manga versus the anime, I would still encourage you to watch it if you haven't seen it. It's a good watch. Yeah. I feel story isn't consistent. I like Tanjiro and Inosuke from the start, but Zenitsu is a different breath. Yeah. Yeah. So, that's my Demon Slayer. Someone said, later Claymore chapters are not that great. Well, compared to the anime, I'm going to ask you, Enzo, compared to the anime, which do you prefer? Would you rather have the anime the way it is, or would you rather have those manga chapters, even though they're not that great, adapted? Who knows? Yeah, please no Claymore spoilers. Planning to finish it this weekend. No spoilers, of course. But yeah, I've come around. I'm a new man. Hence my new getup. Hence my new earrings. Yeah. All right, moving on. Everybody. And again, we're not going to talk about this for too long, but Cowboy Bebop was canceled. Everybody knew it. Nobody was surprised by that. Canceled after season 1. Canceled pretty quickly too. Not only canceled, but the news came out that it was canceled. I feel like sometimes with these companies, I feel like they have a little more pride and they want to, maybe they get the note that it's canceled and they just don't, or Netflix knows that it's going to cancel, but they don't want to release that news or make it public because, again, it is sort of admitting defeat and it is sort of a failure. I will say, I don't know if I spoke about this on a live stream or not, but I did watch the first episode of the Cowboy Bebop adaptation, and I haven't seen much of Cowboy Bebop. I know. It's another series that I've been meaning to get to, and I can't really truthfully and honestly speak too much to. I do know after talking to other diehard fans of the series that it doesn't capture the same spirit that the anime does, and from the little of the anime that I have seen, it's just something that I haven't finished. I also agree that it doesn't seem to capture that same energy and that same spirit. However, I will say, also, Red Hood only watched the first episode of it, but wasn't feeling it. And I agree, it was a different vibe, it was a different energy. But what I do want to say is, while I think it is important, and again, this is just from me watching the first episode, so, if it's something that, you want to watch the live action and you don't want it to be spoiled, don't worry. But I will say that even though it wasn't great, for a live action anime adaptation, they did some things right. So I think even though this is a show that got canceled, and even though it was a show that had a lot of backlash, that a lot of people and fans weren't really happy about, one of two things. I will say that it does seem like the fan base initially was super pissed about it as more things were released, as the original composer was revealed to be a part of the music and creating the score, as some of the trailers came out, as the opening came out. I think more fans started to come around to the idea of it actually being something that was okay. Even the audience score is about a 56%. I think the critic score is around in the 40s. Which to me is surprising that as an audience, and that could be that fans just want it to be good so bad and just want more anime adaptations to come. But I do think that there are things that you can take away from it. I do want to talk about, we have from Mustafa says that the fact that it was canceled not even 1 month after it was released, I pray they don't do that to the OP live action series, which, I do want to also say that I think that this will affect in some way, shape, or form how they move forward with the One Piece live action series. I don't think it's going to be canceled, or I don't think that it's going to be shelved or whatever. But I do think that it's going to really make them realize how much care and how much effort and what needs to be put into making these series work, what the fan base is interested in seeing, what the audience is interested in seeing. And, they have spoken with their views and with their, Netflix accounts. They have spoken. And so while it's important, I think, to remember that it's not a great series and it's not necessarily a good representation of its source material, I do think that there are some good things that we can take from it. For example, I do think while at times the campiness of the direction did seem to, at least for me, it was too heavily relied on. It felt, the first episode, and I understand, of course, from the little I've seen of Cowboy Bebop, that, that it is, that it is obviously a sci-fi, a space western. The first episode did feel very desperado. It did feel very like El Mariachi, in its setting and in its not just in its setting necessarily, but in its also direction, in how the episode was direction, the color palettes and everything. I do like how they did a live action version of the anime opening. I like how they committed to staying true to that. That's something that should be carried over. I think that's something that worked. I do love how in every anime you'll watch, there's usually a title card. There's usually there's a little bit of the episode before, there's a moment, and then there's a title card, and then they have all these cool graphics. And Cowboy Bebop tried to implement the title card. Like, there was something about the Cowboy Bebop live action series that they were trying to make it feel like an anime. Like, and while it might not have been perfectly executed, A for effort, at least, I think, because while I was watching it, although I did feel taken out of it, and I did go back and forth, there were moments where I did feel like, oh, this does feel like I'm watching an anime. I did have the something clicked when I was watching the first episode that I really wanted to say, which was the acting. I think for me can be improved on. It always is hard taking, animation and animated characters and translating them into live action. But tell me if I'm wrong. If you have seen the live action, tell me I'm wrong. The acting, what it feels like the actors did to prepare for this role, it feels to me like all of them watched the Cowboy Bebop dub and just watched every anime dub that they could. It feels like they are acting less and doing an impression of a dub voice actor, which works in anime but does not translate well, I think, to live action. I could be crazy, and that could be just me, but something about the cadence, the rhythm, the intonations of their voice, the choices that they made me feel like, oh, you guys are trying to mimic what a dub VA would do. But let me hear what some of you guys have to say, because obviously I haven't seen the entirety of the anime and only watched the first episode of the live action. So I do want to go through and see what some other people have said who have maybe seen more. What makes me worried is that Cowboy Bebop was supposed to be an easy adaptation, but they handled it badly. What makes me worry about One Piece, but thank God Oda is an executive director and overseeing it. That is a great point from Mustafa again. You would think that Cowboy Bebop would be one of the easier animes to adapt, which, again, after watching that first episode, their budget on that show, oh my God. Like, I thought that the CGI, the atmosphere, the environments looked incredible. incredible. The set designs, everything looked incredible. They spared no expense, or it felt like they spared no expense on the world and the visual effects and the environment. Amazing. Bebop, don't get me wrong, I didn't like Faye that much in the anime, but it's her flaws I didn't like that make her character unique. Yeah, someone said Bebop, on the other hand, was an anime that tried not to feel like one. This was, okay, this is interesting. This was kind of where the problem lies. It's definitely more of a Western noir feel. That is from Enzo. That is so interesting because, yeah, here I am saying that when I watched it, I felt like I was watching an anime, yet the Cowboy Bebop anime was trying to not feel like an anime, which is very interesting. I watched the whole season, and it was good. Not stellar, but it handled with their own special love and care. I don't know why anyone thinks a live-action One Piece will be any different. These are from two different commenters. It does make me worry about One Piece. I do think, again, all we can hope is that they learn from their mistakes. All we can hope is that they learn from what happened, the fiasco that was the Cowboy Bebop live action. It was short-lived, a lot of backlash, a lot of controversy surrounding the actors, a lot of controversy surrounding the casting, a lot of controversy surrounding, that show since it was announced. Hopefully, they've learned. They did some things right. Maybe not a lot of things right, but they did some things right. So I'd like to, at least for my part of the conversation, focus on the things that they did right so that hopefully they can carry those things over into the One Piece live action and to fix the problems that were glaring in the Cowboy Bebop live action adaptation. But we got another donation. Shout out Bizarre Gold. Thank you for your donation. He says, I'd say the Cowboy Bebop adaptation falls from just not understanding or fails from just not understanding the anime at all. It was just so bad and cringe. Yeah. Don't try live action. Just leave it at anime. And I'm not opposed to just leaving it at anime. I mean, I'm really not opposed to that either. But yeah, that's it. Talked about it a little longer than I expected to talk about it, but thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Someone said devil fruits are going to look weird in live action. Probably. But you tell me, does this look weird? This is a live action devil fruit right here. Does this look weird? Because maybe they could hire me. They could hire me to make these little devil fruits for the production. But yeah, we'll see. So the last thing I want to talk about before the big reveal, of course, again, if you're here and you weren't here in the beginning, we did just launch our Volume 1 clip channel. So go to our community page and let us know what are some of your favorite moments that you'd like to see clipped up. Again, subscribe to the channel too. Bite-sized pieces of Volume 1. Just want to remind everybody who might have not been here in the beginning when we mentioned that earlier. And of course, everybody, if you haven't already, subscribe, hit the bell, because tomorrow the Chainsaw Man anime What to Expect video with The Masked Man will be coming out. That is just a reminder once again to everybody. It's a fire video. It's such a fun video, I think, too. I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy. Watch it, like it, leave a comment on it. Really help us push this video. Hopefully Masked will share it on his community tab as well. It's one thing, not really wanting to get your hopes up, but also, hoping this could be a great opportunity to grow our channel. And if we are able to do that, because of this, it would really make it a very special Christmas for us, and it would really mean a lot to us. So check that video out. Make sure when you see that thumbnail pop up in your feed tomorrow, make sure to give it a watch, save it to watch later, like it, comment on it. Cody always says in his little pitches at the end of our episodes that leaving a comment or even hitting the thumbs up is like leaving a little tip because it pushes us in the algorithm, which means, it gets in front of more people. So anything that you can do will help. And oh my God, Monokuma, are you kidding me? Monokuma with another donation.
Damn,
oh
son,
my
where'd you
God.
find this?
2 donations. Oh my God. We got to get the music for 2 back-to-back donations. One from Monokuma and another from Shandar. Shandar and Monokuma, thank you guys so much. Your donations mean the world to us. Monokuma says, sorry for being annoying, but what are your thoughts on Chainsaw Man? First of all, Monokuma, you're never annoying. I just want to say that close up. You're never annoying. Monokuma says, what are your thoughts on Chainsaw Man being colorized? That's another thing I forgot I wanted to talk about. And do you hope it gets localized too? Also, check the Jujutsu Kaisen 0 OST. It came out today, and I can't stop listening to it. Deuces. Monokuma, I love you. I appreciate you. You're the best. And Shandar, you are also the best. And I want to just play music for you guys, and I just want to thank you guys, but I also don't want to like play the music too much. I feel like I've been leaning on it a little too much, and I'm trying to. I don't know if you guys noticed in this live, but I'm trying to rely on it a little bit less. But Shandar, Monokuma, thank you. Shandar says, loving the festive set. Yes, me and Megan decorated the set. I don't know if you could tell, but my big head is blocking the Christmas tree, but there is a Christmas tree back here, stocking, tinsel. I don't know if it's been revealed yet because I don't know if that episode's out. I don't think it is, but you'll be able to see the other side, Cody and Megan's side, in the Demon Slayer episode. It comes out Monday. Someone said Josh's toilet lasagna needs to be a highlight. I agree. I'm going to pass that message along to Megan and make that happen. So what do I think about Chainsaw Man Monokuma? What do I think about it being colorized? I think it's fantastic. I do, this is just me personally. There was news that was released that Chainsaw Man is going to be released in Japan in full color. How do I feel about it? I on one hand, first of all, I think it's amazing. I've seen, I don't know if they were official or not, but I've seen pages recently that were colored. Again, I don't know if they were official or not. I do enjoy when a series is colored. We've reviewed series, like Shadow House, for example, where it's entirely in color. And with most manga, you'll get a couple colored pages and then it'll shift to black and white. For me, for whatever reason, I do feel like I prefer when I just get those few colored pages and then black and white. Something about it, to me personally, the medium of manga and that black and white inked style is just so much more traditional and so much more pure to me. I don't want to take away from adding color, like when art books will be released, like we were sent the One Piece color walk compendiums from one of our listeners, Moses. And I, as a kid, I still have them. I would buy the Naruto color books, the Bleach color books, or the art books. Megan has the Neon Evangelion color book. It is awesome to see the pages colored, and I will read it, and I will experience it, and I will check it out. However, I don't feel like it's always necessary. I feel like, Fujimoto's art specifically in its hatchiness and its roughness, and it's just like in all its glory, really lends itself to that black and white inked style. And sometimes I feel like you can lose a little bit of that grittiness when you add color. Now, again, of course, with the anime adaptation, there's color obviously when things get animated into an anime, but something about having it on the page, something about just like, especially if you're buying it physically and you're turning the pages and you're just getting to see it in that format. I really love it, and I'm really a sucker for it. Not that I don't appreciate or that I don't enjoy colored pages, but I'm excited either way. I'm excited for anything that draws more people to Chainsaw Man because it's such a fantastic and amazing series. And that's just my personal thoughts on colored. I heard AOT was going to get a colored manga soon too. look, I mean, I love it. I'm here for it all day. I don't need it, but I love it, and I'm here for it. So let's get into Musho Tensei. I hope I'm saying that right. I probably Mushoku Tensei. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about this series. I don't know how many people in here have watched this series. Currently, my anime of the season this season is Ranking of Kings. Every week when it comes out, I get so excited. I watch it immediately. I am getting a little congested, but we trudge on. We power forward. I watch it weekly. I can't wait for a new episode. Each episode gets crazier and crazier and crazier and expands on the world, the character, the story. That is my highlight this season. My favorite, one of my favorites, if not my favorite this season, Ranking of Kings. However, there's been a lot of hype surrounding this Mushoku Tensei. And I decided to check it out because, again, I am a fan and do enjoy at least the first volume of The Faraway Paladin, and I've seen a little bit of the anime just to kind of see how well it was adapted. I know it's a light novel adapted into a manga, adapted into an anime, so I just kind of wanted to see, how they handled the adaptation. I thought it was done very well. I think The Faraway Paladin was a great story, and I still have so much of it to read and so much of it to watch. But from what I have seen, read, and watched, I thoroughly enjoy it. Now, maybe this is sounding like I'm padding what I'm about to say, but Mushoku Tensei is another isekai series that was released this season that has a very similar premise, and the only, I think, similarities in the premises are that it is about, obviously, when someone gets isekai'd, they get transported to another world. But in the case of Faraway Paladin and the case of Mushoku Tensei, they get reborn as babies and have to relearn the language and learn the rules of the world. And they have the consciousness of in Mushoku Tensei's case, the consciousness of their 31 or 34-year-old personality from Earth. And same, I think, in the Faraway Paladin, the consciousness of where they came from before, but they are babies being raised and having to grow up in this world. But I think that's where the similarities end. Because for me, the Faraway Paladin is far superior. What Mushoku Tensei does that I do not love about the isekai genre, what the isekai genre seems to lean on, and again, I love isekai. I Konosuba, Re:Zero, Sword Art, I never really gave a fair shot. But even what I watched and read of, like even Shield Hero was I liked it. I mean, I know Shield Hero gets a little sus the later it goes on. I know how that series ends. After talking to Cody, I know it gets a little sus, but I enjoyed what I read, and I am not here to disparage the isekai genre. I think it's a genre that has potential, and when it's done right, it's super enjoyable and it's super entertaining. But what Mushoku Tensei does is it seems to lean on all of the things that I really don't like about isekai, and it is just that I understand, even in Konosuba, right, and even in Re:Zero, and even in a lot of isekai, the protagonist who gets isekai is always a NEET or a shut-in or a virgin or a whatever, fill in the blank. They're always I even, thinking about it, I even really enjoyed Reincarnated as a Slime. And that had, I think, a more interesting take on an isekai than some I had seen before. Devil as a part-timer, reverse isekai. I like the genre, okay? However, it it just seems like Konosuba is obviously comedy, so it works. And with ReZero, you see, to me personally, I know we every time I mention ReZero, there's the audience is divided and there's a lot of Subaru hate. But I think that if Subaru is that character, then watching him go through everything that he goes through and having to really figure out what's happening, he's not a good person necessarily, but he does feel like a real person. And he does feel like he is trying and he's failing, but that if any of us, or if a person who really was in that situation, they would be experiencing it the same way. You know, I appreciate him as a protagonist. I don't think he's necessarily a great guy, or he is, that he doesn't have flaws, but I appreciate him as a character. Mushoku Tensei, it leans on, I think, the things that I don't like about it, which is the fan servicey sort of crass humor. Which is wild to say, because the anime the first episode opens on such a dramatic scene and start. Obviously, it's after the incident that made this character isekai, and these are very light spoilers. This is what happens in the first 2 minutes of the first episode. But it's so dramatic, it's showing the scene of the crash, and it's showing the mangled body, and it's like you hear the sirens and you hear the people screaming, and he's coming in and out, and it's very dramatic. And as I started to watch it, I felt like, wow, like this probably is going to be one of my new favorite shows. And then there was just a moment where he gets isekai and he's with his new parents, and he's a baby. And, the first thing he says, he's like, oh, who's this hottie with these big titties? I get to suck on these big titties. This is pretty cool, huh? And then he goes to grab her boobs and he sees his little baby hands. And then it turns into, for about 10 minutes, I'll say for about 10, 15 minutes, for about half the episode, then it turns into Boss Baby. Okay, and then it turns into Boss Baby, perverted isekai Boss Baby. Mushoku Tensei, more like Mushoku Boss Baby. Okay, because, he's just a grown man in a baby's body, which is funny, roaming around trying to figure out the language, that he, first of all, realizing that he's not even, he realizes obviously that he's been isekai, but realizing that he's not even on Earth anymore, that he's in another world, and yada, yada, yada. I'm sure it's not this highly talked about for no reason. I'm sure if I continued and completed the first season that I would maybe come around to it. But, the first episode just didn't really sell me on it. So, I will give this moment to the chat if there's any defenders of Mushoku Tensei in the chat, because there were last time that really encouraged me to check the series out. If there's anybody that is encouraging me to stick with it, and that will tell me that it does get better and is worth putting more of my time into, then now is your chance. Or speak now or forever hold your peace. Because I don't know how much more time I'm going to be able to give to that. While I wait for those to come in, well, wouldn't you know it, we got another donation from Raiden006. Thank you, Raiden, so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. He says, they say, working, unable to keep up watching the live. Sorry if you talked about this before, but if the industry can get live actions right, it would be a Marvel 2.0. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? And there's a trailer, by the way, which, I mean, maybe I'll show you guys, but this really reminded me of it. I probably can't play the music. And maybe some of you have seen it. If anime had a trailer, I think is what the video is called. Yes, if anime itself had a trailer. I don't know if you guys have seen this video, but when I watched it, I really did feel like this is some Avengers level shit, but with anime. And this is like some Infinity. This is like why can't I remember the name of the Marvel movies? Why can't I remember the name of the last two Marvel movies, Endgame and the other one, which I loved. I'm just randomly drawing a blank. I blame my congestion. I blame the weather. But it really did feel epic, and it felt Infinity War. What a dummy. It felt epic, and it felt like, man, and I understand that these characters exist in separate universes and they're owned by different studios and companies and this and this and that. But if there was some way that they could combine them, and if there was some way to like have it be in some sort of like, and I know if it was in a shared universe, it probably wouldn't be great. But if there were just like a way to like, I don't know, to just like make them all feel, I don't know, not connected necessarily, but like just feel, because like with Marvel, even though they branch off, they do different things. Like it's got that Marvel feel to it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just watching this video made me feel like, damn, if they did get this shit right, if they did figure this shit out, this would be amazing. But someone said, being a Marvel 2.0 is a low bar. Anime is already better as a whole. I completely agree. But I think more so what Raiden is talking about is as far as their adaptations into live action or their dives into live action. But I don't know I want to play it because screw it. But this was so good. This was so good. And we'll see how you guys feel about it. I don't know how much of the music I'm going to be able to play. So we'll see. Bear with me. I might have to mute it or something because, like the last 3 lives have been claimed. But whatever. This is a video called If Anime Itself Had a Trailer. Let's go.
Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and
How beautiful!
futility.
How beautiful!
Listen. Everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light,
I mean, just going from character to character.
there will always be shadows to be found as well.
From series to series. It's just like, can you imagine if there was some epic like crossover event where you got Shinra right here, where you got Killua, where you got, I can't imagine like the excitement where you got this fucking guy, Zenitsu. Look at how epic. Guys, are we seeing this? Whew. All right, that's it. That's about it. But it keeps going. Look up if Anime Itself Had a Trailer. That's about half of it. We'll see what happens. But someone said Uzumaki could be a cool movie. Uzumaki is apparently getting an anime adaptation very soon. And then someone said, as far as epic crossovers go, I think this is what they're saying, is that we got Jump Force. And I played Jump Force for the first time recently. And I just got to be honest. Like, it was an okay game. Like, it wasn't a bad game. But I got shit spoiled. For me playing freaking Jump Force. What a crazy way to get something spoiled. And it was a JoJo spoiler too. Huge JoJo spoiler from playing Jump Force. Are you kidding me? I would rather get drive-by spoiled at like a figure shop or something, or at a Barnes & Noble, than to get spoiled by playing Jump Force. What was I thinking? But yeah, okay. So let's keep moving. That was my Mushoku Tensei rant. I do want to go up and say really quick. People say copyright. Yeah, but we'll see. What just people were saying about the Faraway Paladin. There are 3 is okay. I actually enjoy Mr. Stealing Your Waifu, Konosuba, the Faraway Paladin, and okay. So Mr. Stealing Your Waifu was saying that he does enjoy Mushoku Tensei. So that is a opinion that I respect. So maybe I will keep watching it. But okay, there's a huge One Piece spoiler too. Watch out in Jump Force. Man, why? Why in Jump Force of all places? Who the hell recommended you to play Jump Force? We were just hanging out, and someone just had the game, and so we just decided to play it. Why not? And there, there's that initial excitement when you start like going through all the characters, and you're like, oh my god, this is going to be the coolest game I've ever played, and then you just get things spoiled, huge things spoiled. But I will now cue up the finale. And I said I wanted to end on a positive note, and I meant that, and I do. Because we talked about a lot of heavy stuff today. And I hope you guys enjoyed the live. It's not over yet, but I hope you've enjoyed it so far, and will continue to enjoy it as it reaches its end. But we talked about a lot of heavy stuff. We talked about, the Totally Not Mark situation, which again, I encourage everybody to go watch those videos. Masked Man collab coming out tomorrow. New highlight channel. Demon Slayer, Cowboy Bebop. But there was something else that happened. There was something else in the world that cannot go without being mentioned, that cannot go without being talked about. And I don't know if you guys were here for a previous live when I discussed and reacted to the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air TV series that is coming out that looks frankly like Riverdale, which, if it's Riverdale season 1, that's maybe not a bad thing, but if it's any other season of Riverdale, that's a terrible thing. So today we're going to react to something else that is, not maybe anime and manga related necessarily, but I would call it definitely anime and manga adjacent. And it is actually something that does have an anime version of it. And it's also, it also speaks to the adaptation of properties into live action. And so if anybody would like to guess, and I see Christy, by the way, she's going off. Christy's saying, where am I going with this? Christy, it's called vamping. It's called setting something up before you knock it down. So today, we are going to be reacting to, in order to raise everybody's spirits and to end on a high note, today, at the end of this very stream, and I'm also waiting for the ad. I'm also vamping since the ad will stop playing. We are going to be reacting to, you guessed it, the Sonic live action trailer for Sonic 2, which I don't know how you guys feel about Sonic. Someone said, please don't. Please don't. I don't know how you feel about Sonic and felt about the first Sonic, but regardless of the criticisms that it received, the first Sonic movie wasn't that bad. Okay? And maybe this is where everybody maybe turns against me. Okay? But I thought that the first Sonic movie was not bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't a masterpiece. It wasn't the best adaptation. I'm glad that they fixed it. Blah, 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 blah. The redesign of Sonic, I think, looked cool. Let me just say this, that it wasn't that bad. Okay? And some people were saying, the fuck? Other people are saying, though, it was good, not going to lie. And Sonic is an icon. And Sonic is an icon. And I don't want anybody to forget that. And I don't know if you guys have seen the season 2, the Sonic 2 trailer yet, or if you're familiar with the Sonic the Hedgehog lore and how deep it goes. But let's for a second watch and react to this trailer together because it is quite the trailer. Without further ado, here we go. Oh, I think I muted it because the ad was playing. What a bunch of hype, huh? For that anticlimactic payoff. Here we go.
Quick stretch, little snack, and here we go.
Ooh, someone said, why was Sonic good? Because they listened to the fandom and didn't shit on the fans. Cough, cough, Cowboy Bebop, cough, cough. I see you, Vor. And maybe they should take a note. Maybe they should take a note from Sonic, from the icon himself. Sonic is an icon living. Sonic's on that Jaden Smith tip. Sonic is an icon living.
Sonic, I love that you want to help make a difference.
Mind if I drive?
But you're being reckless.
Don't worry. Nobody's gonna get hurt.
Pretending to be
Woo,
Batman.
already, dude. Hype.
You're still just a kid. Trust me, there will come a moment when
And Jim Carrey coming back, returning, reprising his role. I saw someone said that they were surprised that Jim Carrey decided to come back for the sequel because he believes in it. Okay, he believes in it. He is the Jim Carrey. He is the Mask. He is Ace Ventura. He is Lloyd Christmas. He is the Cable Guy. He is the Truman Show guy. He is, what's his name in that movie? He is Bruce Almighty. He is the Grinch. He is Jim Carrey. Okay, he is Dr. Robotnik. Okay, he believes in this franchise. Hence his
your
return.
powers will be needed. But you don't choose that moment. That moment chooses you.
I just got goosebumps. Wait a second. Did you steal that from Oprah?
It's the only joke I don't love, but the first Sonic had some of those jokes in him too, and I was able to still enjoy the movie. The Olive Garden joke, by the way. First of all, if you guys are hating on Sonic or haven't seen Sonic or like, yeah, I just, it looked okay, but I just haven't got around to it yet, watch Sonic. Matter of fact, I might watch it today just for the hype of this Sonic 2 trailer, because the Olive Garden bit, you want to talk about what do you call it? When a brand when they'll put an ad in a movie or whatever. Like everybody talks about Krispy Kreme and Power Rangers, which I thought was a little too heavy-handed and wasn't really done very well. I get that they were trying to make it a joke or whatever, but it was like, okay, relax. But the Olive Garden bit in Sonic, solid. When you're here, you're family. Okay? Here we go. Oh, and look at how sick he looks. And someone said, Josh, Jim Carrey enthusiast, Michaels. And let me say, yeah, I'm a Jim Carrey enthusiast. Okay, product placement. Thank you so much. That's what it's called. My bad. Brain fart. The congestion. Yes. Jim Carrey enthusiast? Yes. When I was a kid, you know how many times I watched The Mask? You know how many times I watched it? I watched it on a tape. Blockbusters were going out of business, okay, to age myself, I guess. I'm still young. I'm still, very young. And I remember, I was able to buy it from the local Blockbuster that was going out of business, and I watched it over and over and over. To this day, I could probably repeat every line from The Mask. Jim Carrey, not only did I want to, as a child, did I mimic his mannerisms, but I would even cut out of green construction paper the actual mask from the movie. I put it on my face. I do a little dance. You know what I mean? I was obsessed. I would talk like him, walk like him. I loved Jim Carrey. I loved him. I still do. He has and always will be a very important influence on my life, my comedy, even him and Bernie Mac for sure. It was also really hard to see him kind of go through everything that he kind of went through, and that was kind of a bummer. But he's back, he's killing it, and he's at the top of his game.
Since I've been gone, I've discovered the source of ultimate power.
That sounds big. It's been on my vision board for years.
Hope I'm not too late.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Name's Tails.
Tails? I mean, we saw it. We saw it at the end of Sonic 1 for sure. And this is, I'm sure, what everybody talked about when when the movie finally came out and the post-credit scene or whatever was revealed. Can you imagine what Tails looked like before the redesign? Can you imagine? Because they had to make Tails match the Sonic redesign. Can you imagine what horrors that would have awoken within you? What Tails would have looked like? I mean, I don't even want to imagine. However, this Tails, very cute, very adorable. And I'm so excited as someone who, played a lot of the games and my brother growing up played, I think, every single Sonic game that ever came out. He even played the Shadow games, which, by the way, I don't even know if you guys have seen the trailers for the Shadow games recently, but that motherfucker's he's on a motorcycle and he's got guns, and it's just like, what the heck? This is a Sonic game? I mean, it's Shadow. He's the darkness. Wow, I still can't believe that they did that. But anyway, Tails, I'm here for it.
Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Step 1, light taunting. Step 2, I have no idea. That wasn't too bad. Today's forecast calls for a 100% chance of adventure.
Cute as hell. And someone said, love that they used the Tails voice actor instead of Chris Pratt. Will said that. Yeah. I mean, Chris Pratt, man. That man. I don't know if it's like get that money, Chris, or I don't know if it's chill out, Chris. You know, I don't know. Jury's still out.
Return to sender. Face it, you're never going to get my power.
Whew. Let's go.
Like I need your power.
Where?
Wow. Are you kidding me? When I saw Knuckles, okay, and we're gonna come back to this. We're gonna finish this. When I saw Knuckles, first of all, I knew the Echidna were in the first movie. Okay, and if you remember how the first movie started, it started like they were all in. They were all in on Sonic from the first 5 minutes. Okay, and we saw the Echidna, so we knew, and then plus with Tails coming in, we knew that Knuckles was gonna eventually make an appearance. Did we know that it was going to be in the second movie? We maybe had an assumption, and we maybe assumed, but now to know for sure that he's there, Knuckles is a little bit of an anti-hero. And, you know, after consulting with my brother, who is a, Sonic expert, the Echidna are, of course, in charge of protecting the crystals, or the Chaos Emeralds. And so it is clear that while he is against Sonic here in the trailer, that according to Sonic lore, that he is probably just doing his job and being manipulated by Robotnik to protect the Emerald or the Chaos Emeralds, or the Chaos, whatever. Again, this is information from my brother, but just the way his design, his voice, his attitude, I can't.
Sonic, meet Knuckles.
Whew, April 8th, 2020 cannot come soon enough. Damn. I mean, again, and yeah, someone said too, like, oh, Sonic and Tails don't know each other yet. We don't. Obviously, from the first movie, we know that Sonic left, his realm, his world at a very young age as a baby, right? And he came here and he's been living here and doing his thing. So it's a little, what do you call it? It's a little different than maybe what other Sonic origin stories exist out there, but I'm a fan of the direction that they're taking. I'm a fan of it. I'm here for it, dude. I'm here for it. They do seem like they are listening to the fans. I love that they're going in on the Chaos Emeralds. I love that. I did not expect them to do that. We're gonna get maybe more of them. I mean, someone's already saying post-credit tease. I think obviously by the end of the movie, here's my prediction right now. I'm calling it. Obviously by the end of the movie, Knuckles is going to team up with Sonic and Tails. Okay, Robotnik is going to be left in a position where he doesn't have a helper anymore. So he's going to either one of two things go. Are they going to introduce Shadow? I don't know. That's post-credit. What I do think maybe they're going to do is introduce Metal Sonic. And I do think Robotnik at the end, there's going to be a post-credit scene. He's going to be working on Metal Sonic, aka the Mecha Godzilla of the Sonic universe. And so, that's what I think. And then we're going to have the third movie, which for sure is going to happen. And it's going to be Knuckles, Tails, Sonic. And then maybe we're going to get a couple more characters. And then maybe we'll get a Shadow. I don't know if they're going to bring in Shadow, but they'll for sure bring in, what's the other girl's name? Amy or something? What's the other girl's name? There's like the crocodile guy, the bee guy, the chameleon guy, the bat girl. You know what I'm saying? They'll bring in some of those. But yeah, Idris Elba voiceover acting is both great and all. Villain or a hero or supporting is great actor. Yeah, all our time. Yeah, Idris Elba is the GOAT. Outside of being talented. Outside of being a talented voice actor, a talented dramatic actor, a talented comedic actor, the man is sexy. The man is so fine. It hurts me. It hurts me. But we got a shout out. We got another donation. Another donation. Thank you from Mal YRBT. Malyarbit. I am saying that wrong, I am sure, but thank you so much for your donation. We really appreciate it. First movie and this new trailer brings me back to the Sega Genesis age. Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you so much. Hope you have a good weekend too. And I remember those Sega days. I don't know how many people here had a Sega growing up, but I had a Sega and I would get stuck on the Lion King game. I would get stuck on the Lion King game on the I Can't Wait to Be King level where you have to jump over the giraffes on the giraffes' heads and the little monkeys, or you got to twist them and they got to throw you. It's like a little puzzle in the tree with the monkeys. And man, Sonic, Lion King. I mean, I was more about the Sega Genesis, I think, than the N64. Maybe I was equally both. I don't know. And then Dreamcast, those were some good times. But yeah, real quick before we go to, I just want to show, if anybody hasn't seen this, check this out. Because if you don't remember this, this is wild. Like what? Like they made this? It has to be this trailer. Oh yeah, it's this one. Look, if you guys don't remember how insane the Shadow game was, then you're about to be reminded. My age is not showing. Thank you very much. Look at this. This is the real trailer for the Shadow the Hedgehog game. What the? He's got a freaking machine gun in his hands. What is happening? And he's on a motorcycle. Look at the motorcycle I get. But this man is running from the police. He's running from the cops. He's got guns. He's got explosives. Wild. So wild. Look at the look. Oh my God. I cut away. Look at this. Look at this man. And I don't think this is him doing this, but just the fact that, in a Sonic game is all I'm saying. I just forgot. I just totally forgot. Like as a kid, it just didn't register with me. I totally forgot. But anyway, let me go over the list to make sure. I think that's it for another live. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for all of your support. Remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell if you haven't already. Please. It means the world to us. It helps us out so much. If you'd like to become a Patreon member as well, patreon.com/volume1pod. We just did our membership program too, where you're going to get all the same Patreon perks. So access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, and you get early access. You get all the same Patreon perks. All you have to do is hit join on this video to become a member. You also get custom emotes. So you'll get Volume 1 Chan emotes. You'll get a Cody badge, a Megan badge, or a Josh badge with our little avatars from our intro and outro. So become a member, join the Patreon if you can. If you can't, no big deal. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing your support by watching, by just, hanging out. Thank you to everybody who donated, and make sure to subscribe to the Volume 1 Highlight channel. Just search Volume 1 Highlights. Subscribe to that. Give us more ideas. Josh's toilet lasagna is definitely going to be a clip. Give us some more ideas and some things you'd like to see clipped up. Hopefully that'll be an easier way for you to share the podcast and share it with people, and give them a little smaller dose of the Volume 1 madness. And yeah, hopefully, it'll be easier for, you to consume. Maybe you see something that you like and it's in a 10, 15 minute format versus an hour and a half to 2 hour format, which now will continue to be that since we have our highlight channel, which I think everybody encouraged us to do. So now we feel a lot less guilty about going on forever on the podcast, because now we have the highlight channel where we can upload those shorter clips too. Masked Man video tomorrow. Make sure to watch it. But that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. You guys are amazing. I'm more and more excited to come here every week and to just be with you guys. You guys make it so much fun. You guys give me something to look forward to every week. I hope you guys are enjoying these streams as much as I am enjoying doing them. Your support means the world to all of us. Until next time, we will see you in the next volume 1, Done or Son.